So far we have discussed about the pollution in 0 to 10 kilometers, that is tropospheric pollution, and various types of the pollution occurring over there, how to control, everything we have discussed. Some more discussion we will add up into that air pollution. Now it is comes under particulate air pollution. Particulate air pollution, what is its cause? What are the effects of particulate pollutants if they are present in the atmosphere, and how do you control the particulate air pollution? So let's see the particulate air pollution or air pollutants. These are the minute microscopic solid particles or liquid particles, even droplets of air. And liquid droplets in the air or solid particles which are present in the minute quantity, invisible to the eyes, they are considered to be particulate air pollutants. These are present in vehicle emissions. How do you get it? They are emitted due to vehicle movement or the exhaust fumes coming out from the automobiles, and that vehicle emitting gases produces particulate air pollutants or smoke. The smoke itself consists of the particulate air pollutants, and particles from the fires, dust particles, and ash which is coming out from the fly ash industries or from any source of ash. We can get the particulate air pollutant which are microscopic in size. Particles in the atmosphere may be viable or non-viable, may be viable, may be having life, maybe they do not have even life. Viable or non-viable, they are considered to be particulate air pollutants. Okay, what are the viable and non-viable particles? Particles in the air can be classified as viable particles and non-viable. What are they? What is about viable particles? Let's see now what is meant by viable particles. The particles, two types, viable and non-viable. The minute living organisms, the minute living organisms dispersed in the atmosphere. So the particle which is associated with the life is a viable one. Examples: bacteria, fungi, molds, algae, etc. So the one which is having the association with the life, you can consider that as a viable particle. So the particles having or associated with life is a viable particle. Examples already I have told you: bacteria, fungi, molds, algae, etc. Now what are non-viable particles? Non-viable particles may be classified according to their size. Okay, you can tell them as smoke particles. These are formed during the combustion of the organic matter. It may be a solid particle or mixture of solid and liquid particles. Smoke particles are formed during the combustion of the organic matter. It may be solid or it may be a mixture of solid and liquid particles. So it is number one. Number two, I give you examples for this. Examples are cigarette smoke. The cigarette smoke consists of a non-viable particle which is not associated with the life. So you can write here as particles associated with no life. This is, you can understand as a non-viable particle. So example, I have told you this example here, cigarette smoke. It is obtained, smoke is coming by burning the cigarettes. It's nothing but carbon or organic matter present, tobacco in it. So there is a non-viable which is having no life. It is not associated with the life. Another example I can tell you, smoke coming out from the fossil fuels. Fossil fuels when burnt, so the smoke which is emitting from the chimneys, exhaust fumes coming out of the chimneys are considered to be related to the non-viable particles. This is also associated with no life. Another example I can tell you, garbage dry leaves. When you burn the garbage dry leaves, it will emit the smoke. That is also having a non-viable, microscopic, invisible particles. And another example I can tell you, oil smoke. Oil smoke also another example. It is also consisting or producing non-viable particles. Okay, and This is example 1. What is example 1? Smoke. In the smoke we have seen types of the particles, viable and non-viable, and various examples we have discussed. Let me tell you example 2. In the non-viable particles, example or class 2 I can say. Class 1 smoke, class 2 dust particles. It is composed of, what is meant by dust particle? It is composed of fine solid particles size of 1 micrometer diameter. 1 micrometer diameter produced during crushing, grinding and attributing the solid materials. Let me tell you examples. Sand from the sand blasting units. Sand coming out, sand particles coming out, microscopic particles coming out, non-viable particles coming out from the sand blasting units is the best example for the dust particles and comes under non-viable. Another example I can tell you, fly ash coming out from the factories. The fly ash which is releasing out from the factories is an example for this class. Class 3 under non-viable, mists. What is meant by mists? These are produced by particles of sprays or spray liquids and by condensation of the vapors in the air. So the mist particles enter into atmosphere as a non-viable particles. They are produced by spray industries and also condensation of vapors in the air. Example, sulfuric acid units. In the sulfuric acid industry, sulfuric acid mist come out. That will come into the atmosphere as a non-viable particle, comes under this class mists. Okay, so this is another class where I can tell you example as sulfuric acid mist. Another example I can tell you for the same class, herbicides coming out from the spraying of the herbicides, and insecticides. We will spray insecticides for the killing of the insects on the fields. So these are also comes under the class of mists. So this is the third class under non-viable particles, and the fourth class is a fumes. Fourth class is fumes. In the fourth category, fumes also comes into the atmosphere as a non-viable particulate pollutants. They are generated or they are generally obtained by the formation of vapors during sublimation. You know what is meant by sublimation. Conversion of solid into vapor is called sublimation without any liquid phase. Distillation, conversion of liquid into vapors by heating. Vapors when cooled will get back the liquid. This is called what? Distillation. Boiling, boiling point, boiling process, and other chemical processes. During all these processes, you can observe the fumes. The fume particles comes out as a non-viable particles. Examples I can tell you, organic solvents. All the organic solvents are generally released, they comes out as a fumes. This is also fourth class, that is a fumes, non-viable particulate pollution. Metals from the metallic oxides from the in the form of fume particles they'll released. This is also another example, comes under this class as a fourth one, that is a fumes. These are all comes under non-viable particulate pollutants. Let's see now what are the adverse effects due to particulate pollutions. Adverse effects due to particulate pollutants may be viable, may be non-viable. Let us see now. A pregnant woman delivers baby with a small head and body. It's due to particulate air pollutions. Inhaling them, it's a very serious environmental pollutant, that is a particulate pollutant causes the damage. Particularly pregnant women deliver baby with a small head and body. Okay, and such babies are slow learners, have increased risk of cancers, have damage of DNAs, have reduced vision. These are all the problems or dangerous signs because of the particulate pollutions inhaling by the pregnant women. Okay, then let me tell you some more adverse effects due to particulate pollutants. Examples, tell me, let me tell you about, okay, mercury as a particulate pollutant and lead as a particulate pollutant. What happened when mercury particles are inhaled? It will cause headache, it will cause nervousness, it will cause fatigueness, it will cause central nervous system damage or breakdown. So the mercury causes all these effects. And what are the effects due to lead? Due to lead accumulation inside the body causes malfunctioning of RBCs and causing anemia. RBCs are not produced properly, it leads to produce anemia. People look anemic. Bloodlessness is just because of excess quantity of lead in our human system. And it also damages the liver, kidneys, intestine and central nervous system also. So these are the adverse effects because of the lead. And on the whole, I have told you about the adverse effects due to mercury particulate pollutants and also lead particulate pollutants. Let me continue for some more metals like cadmium. Cadmium, if it comes as a particulate pollutant, it will also cause lung irritation, vomiting sensation, hypertension, blood pressure is increased, formation of photochemical smoke. These are all due to cadmium as a particulate pollutant. And these particulates, okay, usually they penetrate into the lungs. These particulates usually they penetrate into the lungs, and you can see when they enter into the lung, scarring of fibrosis and lining is observed inside the lung, okay, and it may lead to produce lung cancers. It gives the lung cancers, okay, and also it will cause blockage of the lungs, lung related diseases and white lung disease also observed because of this particulate pollutants if they goes into the lungs. These are all adverse effects due to particulate pollutants if they are being inhaled by the human beings. Then the next point will come. If they are such dangerous particles, how do we control them? Yes, we can control them through some advanced technology, and through that technology we can definitely remove from atmosphere to certain extent so that we can save some lives, or we can control the particulate pollution entry into the atmosphere. Let's see now how do we control the particulate pollutants in the atmosphere. Let's see how do we control the particulate pollutants in the atmosphere. Yes, because of the technology improvement in the science, we can control them, we can reduce their concentrations at least by one method called gravity setting chamber. Removing large particles can be done easily by this gravity setting chamber method. This is number one. Number two, cyclone collectors. The cyclone collectors remove fine particles of a size 5 to 20 microns. 5 to 20 microns. Number three, wet scrubbing machines. Wet scrubbers remove all types of the particles. Wet scrubbers remove all the types of the particulate pollutants, and by these three methods, I repeat, number one, gravity setting chamber method, number two, cyclone collectors, number three, wet scrubbing machines. By using all these three techniques, first one removes the large one, second one removes the 5 to 20 micron size particles, wet scrubber remove all the types of particles of all sizes so that we can remove or we can control the particulate pollutants in the atmosphere. By this way, we can help the environment. And recently, we can also add the fourth method, that is electrostatic precipitators. Electrostatic precipitators also used to remove any aerosols, air generated sol particles or colloidal sized particles you can call as aerosols. So aerosols also can be removed by electrostatic precipitating machinery. This is the fourth method for removal of the particulate pollutants in the atmosphere. Now let's see if any questions are asked on this. They can ask you a question like, mercury causes what kind of diseases, what kind of the hazard? So if the options are given like headache, nervousness, fatigueness, all the above, so as per as the discussion at which I have made it, we can go for answer. It causes headache, it causes nervousness, it causes fatigueness, therefore we can go for answer as all of this. Like this a question is possible. Let us see another type of question how it could be. Particulate pollution can be controlled by. How do you control the particulate pollution? So options are given, suppose like this, gravity setting chamber method, cyclone collector methods, wet scrubbing machine methods, all of these. So obviously we have to go for answer as all of these. So like this we can control, we can reduce the particulate pollutants present in the atmospheric air.